we're recording, I'll be like, Uncle Mike, I think it's that time. Welcome to episode number 2 of the Technically Diverse podcast. We are at the intersection of technology and cultural diversity. I'm your host, Jordan. I am joined as always by the quadcast crew. Co-hosting the pod is our resident adrenaline junkie, Ruby, aka Amsako.
Hey everyone.
Behind the scenes and working his magic is Uncle Mike. Remember, if it ain't Mike, it ain't right.
Right is right.
And keeping us in line and doling out the law and order is our producer, Roz, aka Peaches.
Hi.
And some people call her Gucci.
So welcome to the episode. I'm really excited today. We're going to be jumping in and recapping the holidays, finding out what everybody was up to, what the holidays were like. We'll talk about technology and how that factored into the holiday season this year. It was definitely not a usual holiday. I know I leveraged technology in ways that typically wouldn't have been leveraged a while ago. And then, why don't we talk about wishes for 2021? It's a new year. There's a lot of people with a lot of hope for 2021 and what that'll bring, just given the current situation with the pandemic. And, then we'll just talk a little bit and shoot it. So why don't we start off? Ruby, why don't you tell me how the holidays were for you? I know that you don't celebrate Christmas. So what's the holiday season like when you don't celebrate Christmas?
So I don't celebrate Christmas in the traditional sense, in the sense that you celebrate the birth of Christ. But I feel like I do celebrate consumerism. So I do enjoy shopping and all that. But I think for my family, Christmas holidays is usually a time where we have time off work, we get together, we eat. So in the spirit of getting together, we do that definitely. But I think this year it was different because of pandemic and COVID and all that stuff. So it just didn't feel the same. Like, didn't even feel like making, those big meals. And it was just, maybe I think we ordered in pizza. It was kind of just an average day, and it didn't feel like jovial. That's all I'm gonna say.
So Santa Claus didn't pop by your house?
No, you know what? The thing about Santa Claus, he's never come to my house. And I've written him plenty of letters to the North Pole since grade 1 kindergarten. And I don't know what year I realized that there is no Santa Claus, because I would go back to school the first week in January where kids would be like, oh my God, I got this from Santa Claus. He ate all the cookies. I put out cookies. I put out cookies. Nobody ate those cookies, except for one year where my grandfather, he's not 90 years old at the time, and he wasn't supposed to eat sugar of any type. So in the middle of the night, he found the stash of cookies laid out for Santa Claus. He ate them all. That was the one year I was like, oh my God, there's Santa Claus, but I didn't get the presents. So imagine just no presents, but I thought for a brief moment, because the cookies were gone, there was Santa.
I have to say, if there was a plate of random cookies lying out and I stumbled upon said cookies, I'd probably eat them too. Oh man.
Or Santa Claus is a crook. He breaks into your house, takes cookies, and leaves.
Right. So, Mike, you had like a really cool Christmas too, because Ruby, you said your Christmas was a little more low key. Mike, you had like the Brady Bunch like Christmas. It was almost like a special
Brady Bunch.
I gathered the family around by the fireplace to watch your little Christmas celebration. Why don't you tell us about that?
So yeah, it was a little bit different. So my brother came up with the idea, my younger brother, because he did not want to do a Zoom session with everybody. He's sick of Zoom, and came up with this idea of having Christmas in the backyard, right? And so basically, he has older kids, I have older kids, and we all go into my parents' backyard in Malton, and everybody has their sections, right? Yeah. So, and what he did is he bought a little grill for everybody so that it would be warm. And the only way that this could work is if it was really cold, right? Or it snowed a little bit, right? And my first thought is, I don't want to go outside in the backyard in the cold or do all that kind of stuff. Like it was not in my purview to say I'm going in the backyard on Christmas Day to hang out with even if it is my parents, right? But he said, think of the memories that you're going to give, right? Your kids are going to have different memories. We're going to do something different. and that kind of sold my older brother as well. He organized everything. As I said, he had the grills for each group that was there. It did snow a little bit, so it was
Yeah, you're wild,
good.
bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys were outside with snow on the ground. Like
but
your
was
hearts
perfect.
are braver than mine, man.
It was packing snow. So what happened? There was a snowfall. It was a snow fight. Yeah. So we ended up having a snowball fight, right? So me and my brothers and my kids were against me. They're trying to hit me, and it was kind of like the uncles and daddies against everybody else, right? So it was good.
So wholesome.
Yeah.
Bro, tell me how there was a dog there. Whose dog was that?
That was my niece's dog. So my niece lives in Ottawa. Right, and she was up because she had visited, and they brought their dog, and the dog was there playing around with everybody else. It's such a nice dog too. So
shout out to the dog owners out there. I know I've got a pooch. Ruby's got a pooch. Ross treats me like a dog, so I guess that I'm her pooch. So shout outs for bringing your dog down to the event. I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
get that little traveling party going on.
It was good.
Roz, what did you do?
Just before I tell you what I did, the funny thing is that when you started calling me Gucci, I found it super weird because my dog's name was Gucci.
Get out of here!
Yeah.
What are the odds of that?
Yeah, it's so
high-end dog for a high-end lady with high-end taste. It's perfect. Guys, if you don't know, Roz is super high-end. Like you don't understand. Like she's premium.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm not sure if I would agree, but I appreciate that. Thank you, Jordan. And so for me, Christmas is everything. I love Christmas so much. I don't think about it in beyond about being Christian and like celebrating the birth of Christ and those kinds of things, which is great. I probably should do that some more, but for me, it's really all about food and family and getting together and having a great time. And it was super weird to not see any of my family, or not see most of them for Christmas, because usually we all go over to my aunt's house. I have 8 siblings. I have a bunch of cousins, and we're all over there, and it's always really great. It's really fun. It's a lovely time. This year, I tried my best to scale back on the food and just do minimal Christmas dinner cooking. I replaced my turkey with some beautiful baked mushrooms that I absolutely adored.
Oh yeah, because you're vegan now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes, vegetarian.
Vegetarian, sorry.
Veganism was a little too hard for me.
Being vegan is difficult.
Yeah.
Vegetarian all the way, Roz. I'm there with you.
Thank you. The great thing that we did though for work is we had a secret snowflake exchange where everyone got kind of like a secret Santa where you get a secret person to give a gift to, but instead of giving them a gift, we donated to a charity on their behalf that we thought that they would appreciate.
Oh, nice. It reminds me of that Seinfeld episode with Festivus when Jordan's giving out donate to a charity. Yeah, donate to a charity on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
Did you actually donate to the charity though? You did it, right?
I did.
You're not just saying
of course.
that.
I'm a charity.
Yeah. I feel like maybe Roz pocketed that and got the new purse.
No,
Jordan.
Oh, you didn't pocket that?
No, why would I?
Okay, sure.
So Jordan, how was it a Festivus for you, or was it the regular Christmas?
I'd say someplace in the middle. Christmas was definitely not what it normally is. Like Roz, I have an aunt and uncle, and our family normally congregates at their house for libations and fun, and I really look forward to that part of Christmas. So it was really hard this year because that obviously didn't take place, and it was just kind of a damper. I honestly just wanted the day to kind of be over with. I was definitely in a bad mood all day long. Not having it, I pretty much just watched TV, and I was just in a bad mood. And to my wife's chagrin, the very next day, Boxing Day, I woke up super early in the morning, and I went outside. I took down all the Christmas decorations from the front of the house because I wanted it over with. I was just like, it's a wrap. I'm like, I just want to get through this and move on.
Grinchy. That feels like
it's the Black Grinch. The Blinch.
The Blinch.
But it's not the same sort of thing, right? It's just even getting together. Like Mike, I feel your brother just being tired of Zoom because making the switch even at work to having more meetings and stuff via Zoom because we're not in the office, it makes it so hard to use it in like your personal time. And I feel bad trying to explain that to a family member who just wants to kind of like have a chat to connect. But legitimately, like sometimes I dread like, oh my gosh, like it's another Zoom meeting. And I'm like, this is not even work related. Like why am I so tight?
Zoom anxiety. It's real.
Yeah, man, it's
real.
It's real. Like you always just prefer that face-to-face interaction. So
it's funny how like that technology, that's like all the social media apps, everything is about connecting us more. And I felt like I wanted to do as little as possible with any kind of phone. Like I didn't even want to watch Netflix. I wanted to just have a tech-free like day, a couple of days where I just felt like a detox from anything that I had to hold in my hand or just watch a screen.
So I was
sorry, Mike.
I was gonna say I was completely opposite, right? Whereas even at the snowball fight, I flew my drone and recorded it from up top.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, and then even in the night, where for my cousins that we didn't get to see, we were using Kahoot and going on Zoom sessions there playing, but we're playing with people from all over the world with that one. So that's how we kept technology. That's how we kept close.
I feel like with Kahoot, because at work, it was so overdone that I didn't want to play any games virtually. Like it was just, if you want to hang out, come hang out on my driveway, like from a distance. A little chill. But I don't know. Like technology is great, but in this time, I felt like it was too much.
I definitely felt the need to want to take a break from technology. Just so I put my cell phone on silent. Like I just put it on silent, and I tried to like leave it in another room so that if someone was going to contact me, like it would be 4 hours in between, just to kind of create that break. And it actually felt really good. Like it harkened back to the days where we're kind of not so reliant on our cell phones, and with the slower pace of the way things were kind of going. I found it to be really, really helpful. But on that note, we're going to go to a break, because a little bio break, and we'll come back and we'll talk some more about technology and how that kind of factored into the holidays.
Boom, music.
So welcome back. It was a spirited break. We definitely got some laughs in there. I just wanted to talk about, guys, like, what do you feel like technology, like how the role that it played in the holidays this year? Because I feel like there's some definitely positives, definitely some negatives. And I don't know. I kind of feel some type of way about this year. Ruby, what do you think? Like,
I think for me, like going back to just feeling technology is supposed to be about connecting and making your day-to-day more functional and make life easy. But I feel like with the year we've had and for the jobs we're in, because just being in Zoom meetings all day, it just made me want to be more disconnected, and it made me want to just connect with people on a human to human level, and it was difficult to do. So technology, I feel like, yes, there's a lot of great advancements, but I don't know, I just didn't want it to be virtual this year. And I don't know, Mike.
So my thoughts of it is, so this year was crap. Right, you just plain it. This year was crap.
Damn.
Right, yeah. You put it down that way. You didn't see people. You were on Zoom. Half the year. So everybody's getting Zoom fatigue. Right. The Christmas comes and you want to see people, but we have this friggin' virus that we have to worry about, so we can't see people. I went in my backyard, as I was saying, in the cold, just so that I can see people. In the evening time, I was able to see other people that I actually wouldn't have even been able to see. And I wouldn't have been able to see at Christmas time. But because of technology, I was able to see them. There's other times where we do have a Christmas dinner and everybody is sitting in their own little corners on their device, which is not the good part of it. But this year, specifically because of the absence that we had of people throughout the year, the device or technology actually saved it, in my opinion.
I find though that like with all these like technological advancements too, there comes some annoyances. Like for one, like I think we should just like stop with the New Year's texting. Like I get it, it's Happy New Year's. It's like you don't have to text me at like 11 a.m. Like it comes to the point now, or like I just turn off my phone. Like I put it on silent because I'm like I'm gonna get a bunch of messages, and this is like if I see you in the New Year, we chat on the phone, like say Happy New Year. But I feel like the texting of it has just made it kind of so insincere, and I wish it would stop. Like I think that we should just get to a place where you either say Happy New Year in person or not, but the text messaging is it's not for me. And I could, again, you guys called me the Blinch. I could just be having a Blinch moment right now. Roz, what about you? Come on, like.
So for me, I honestly really appreciate technology this year. My husband's not in Canada right now. We were able to just like video chat, and that helps. It still sucks that like we can't travel whenever we want and go wherever we want to be, but at least it's there. And I feel like I was able to be much more intentional with the gifts that I was giving, because of the fact that I was just sitting at home. I didn't have to go to a bunch of different stores. And a lot of the times for me, I really wanted to support more Black businesses this year. And they're not in the mall. Like if I went to Scarborough Town Center, they wouldn't have been there, right? But I was able to instead go onto all these websites, order things from people that I wouldn't have been able to meet, or I wouldn't have been able to find, but that I know are going to be really great gifts for the people that I love and care about.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. And I know Ruby had said something almost like that, but I'll leave it to her.
Well, I guess just going back to the consumerism, I felt like this year it was a good thing that I was online and able to buy a lot of presents for myself. But at the same time, that put a real big dent on my credit card. And I think the way a lot of the, I guess, stores and companies were able to flip to doing curbside pickup and online deliveries, but the logistical fact, like I still have Canada Post that has not delivered my Black Friday sale from November. So I'm kind of, technology is great, but maybe they need to figure out the logistical aspects on the back end of how to make it a better experience for customers.
I'm just thinking from Canada Post. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they didn't have another 18-wheeler to transport all the stuff that you bought. Like, it's definitely going to be tough. They probably just didn't have a spare one lying around that they could roll up to the front of your house. So, I feel you on the consumerism part though, because like I feel like Christmas and this time of year is really kind of devolved into this consumer thing where it's like you have to buy gifts for this person, and it sucks to kind of see people overextend themselves and really go to the limits just to put gifts in place. When growing up, I got to a certain point too with Christmas where you kind of see through the consumerism. Like, why is it that everything is so expensive, but then all of a sudden on the 26th at midnight, the prices just automatically are slashed just magically? So when I recognized that when I was a teenager, and you get to a certain age and you start getting more money for gifts, I tell my mom straight up, I'm like, don't buy me any Christmas gifts. Like, I'll just take cash, and then we would just go Boxing Day shopping, and I would get way more than what I would have hauled it had they actually been Christmas gifts. And I'm like, I got everything on the 26th right after Christmas anyway. I'm like, what's the problem here? I'm like, I feel like I pulled one over. So
how was Boxing Day different for you this time?
It didn't exist.
It did on Amazon.
Oh yeah, but like even this year, like the deals weren't that good. Like it didn't feel like years prior where they were slashing, and then they didn't have to. You're trapped. What are you gonna do? Like you're just gonna buy whatever. It wasn't the same. It absolutely wasn't the same. But anyhow, one thing. Let's wrap 2019 and let's talk about 2021, because I know everybody wants to get that off their chest and kind of talk about how things can be different going forward. Uncle Mike, what are you thinking?
I was just laughing because you said let's wrap 2019. You skipping the year. That's okay with me. That's fine with me. That's fine with me.
2020.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to acknowledge 2020. Get out of here.
It's okay. It's okay. So with 2021, new things come, right? And some of the new ways that we can do our work, do our traditions, right? So I think this year, I don't know if we're gonna have the same traditions as we did, or make it a new tradition to be in the backyard in the winter in the snow again, because it's a perfectly good house there. But it does have, something for you to think about, new things to do. I know, because of the COVID or being inside, I had new hobbies, but traditions I'm not sure about myself.
That's fair. That's definitely fair, and I think it's going to be a while before the dust kind of settles and we can kind of go forward on this one. Ruby, what are you most looking forward to in 2021?
When we are all free.
Yeah, are you going to do any traveling? Like, what are you going to do? When things go back to quote unquote regular normal or whatever, what are you going to do?
My normal is traveling and seeing my fiance, so we can actually build our life together as opposed to across seas. That is what I'm looking forward to the most. So we can actually begin our family life together, and he can come here. It's just been a big challenge with being able to travel because of restrictions, and even early, there's so many restrictions even now. So I'm hoping we can get through that faster. I don't want to be having the same conversation this time next year. So that's where I'm going for.
Roz, what's going on for 2021 for you?
I am very optimistic that 2021 is going to just be an amazing year. I'm hoping that I'll have more personal success. I'm hoping that the world is just a better place overall. People start caring about the environment. People start caring about each other. People start to really value people for everything that makes them them. And that everyone is just a bit more equitable. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. What about you, Jordan?
I've always kind of shied away from making New Year's resolutions, just because I feel like if you're going to do something, you should just start executing from whatever point that you're at. You shouldn't kind of arbitrarily set some time to start. That being said, I want our podcast to be successful. I love the chemistry that we have. It's been a pleasure kind of in the early stages here working with you guys to develop it. And I really want the podcast to be successful. I want to travel, definitely. I really want to go back to New York. I miss New York and spending time with my cousin and my aunt and uncle. So I definitely, Ruby, I feel you. Travel, get back to normal. And then I'd probably say I'd like to see I want to see the government and, our leaders kind of get together and tackle misinformation. Because recently and last year, I've seen how misinformation, especially around COVID and the virus, it's really kind of cut people in two and put people on different sides. And I think that we just need to focus on, what the truth actually is versus just, being decisive and, doing so for political reasons. So yeah, long story short, I want everybody to be merry.
You want people to be married? You're the most unmarried person?
I know, coming from the Blinch himself.
Or are you saying you want people to be married?
No,
I'm trying to get married.
That too. Hey, I'm only the Blinch if I don't get to see my family, okay? I want to hang out. It's a good time. If you've seen any of those videos that I posted before, it's a really good time. Oh man, it sucks even talking about that. Mike, come on, take over. I can't.
So, the one thing that I'm going to do that I am going to continue actually is riding my bike. So as soon as I'm a little bit of a bougie rider because I don't ride when it's too cold. I'll keep it when it's warmer, like in the spring, end of April, maybe May. But that's when I start riding my bike and I'll ride for 30 kilometers a night or something like that. And I just got into that. I like doing that. And, brings me back to when I was a kid and we used to ride our bikes all over Malton.
Do you wear the bike shorts, like the short shorts?
Nope. That's it. So we call our group Old Foot Bikers, right? and our motto is no tights allowed.
No tights.
Yeah.
So we're never gonna see you in the spandex, even for like a performance like advantage.
Performance.
Or even like those butt, like, you know, like the butt inserts in the spandex, like give you cushion.
Mike, have you ever got a saddle rash before?
No.
None of that?
No.
Alrighty, guys. Okay. Well, you know what? Another successful pod. It was definitely nice to get together and chat. Let's just remind everybody, you know, where they can reach us, because if you want to connect with us, we're on a variety of social platforms. You can follow us on Instagram at Technically Diverse. Our YouTube page, if you prefer to watch, is the same name, Technically Diverse. On Twitter, we're at Technically D. Get your mind out of the gutter. And we love getting feedback and ideas. So if you listen to the show and you want to send us a message or anything like that, you can still email us, technicallydiverse@gmail.com. Thanks for joining us today, and I look forward to connecting with you next week to discuss more about technology and diversity. This has been the Technically Diverse podcast. Remember to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode.